Good morning, everyone. We're continuing a theme on the channel lately of unscrupulous mechanics and why owning a used car is an absolute minefield. This time it's my mom's 20-something, 2015 I think, Mazda 3 that she just took to get an alignment, and the alignment shop told her, hey, you need $800 worth of work. And that $800 amounted to one wheel bearing, which is absurd. Of course they had parts markups, everyone will, but in my opinion a 100% parts markup over OEM is a little bit ridiculous, and unless they were charging $400 per hour of labor, I think they missed a bit on that as well. Of course the quote was a bit obfuscated to not really show you how much each thing cost, but there you go. So we're gonna knock this out here in the morning, and this should be an hour job per side maybe, but since it's me, it'll take 3 or 4. But on a car this new with no rust, I can't see any reason that this shouldn't be fairly painless. This is the wheel in question that they said had the bad bearing, and ooh yeah, that's gone. Man, this car only has 110,000 miles or something like that, and that's not a spring chicken, but it's a lot more bearing wear than I'd expect. All right, well, let's rip this off and take a look at what we're dealing with. Generally on passenger cars, there's 2 different styles of hub. If you've seen a recent episode on Watch JR Go's channel, they did a wheel bearing on a Toyota Camry. It had the annoying style. Very, very cheap part, lots of labor, and very annoying to replace. This is the other style where the part is more expensive, but if we look back here, it's very hard to see. It's just held in with bolts from the back. No press needed, nothing like that. Just get yourself what looks like a 12mm socket on 4 bolts, and out it comes. Of course, first we'll have to get the brake caliper off and the wheel nut, which probably means that we're taking a trip to the parts store, because I highly doubt I have whatever size this is. Seems like every car in the universe has a different size axle nut, and I never have the one I need. Look at you, Mazda, making a fool out of me. It's a 32. What's weird is there's no cotter pin or even provisions for one, and this isn't staked, so it's a bit odd, but hey, Milwaukee time. Goodness. That's why I bought this first. Do I use it a ton? No, but when I need it, it's literally the only tool that can do stuff like that. Just the brake caliper. Guess we'll take a look at the slide pins and stuff. I could just take off the whole bracket, but I would like to look at the slide pins while we're in here. Thank you, Mazda, for not making your cars totally suck to work on. I did the brakes on this not too long ago, and of course they're still fine. Here's the hub. That is pretty bad. You can see the other side of the bolts here coming through. I might hit those with some penetrating oil before I try to knock those loose, because there's quite a bit of rust on the exposed threads there that'll give resistance and potentially tear up the threads as I try to pull it back through. Looks like, let's see, I think that's a 12. Nope, it's a 14. Okay, easy enough. Probably use a breaker bar for that. Things escalated slightly. I've had this happen a couple of times with these unit bearings, but not quite this bad. I guess Mazdas and rust are just good bedfellows, so this amount of disassembly needs to happen. Fortunately, it's pretty straightforward and quick. I already got the ABS sensor out of this side. What I just did for that was take the 10mm out and then kind of pry on the back part of it to twist it back and forth a bit until you can start to get underneath it and work it out. You don't want to break that, so we'll just keep that somewhere safe. Now it's just cotter pin for this ball joint here, and we'll undo this ball joint. We'll undo the struts, the strut bolt things, and there is a through bolt and nut set on the bottom ball joint here, which is kind of a pain, but not the end of the world. And then we just take it out and give it a few whacks from the back, and off it comes. So the trick with this thing I found is to use my air hammer to just drive a chisel into it. Oop. Well, somehow I managed to do that without totally destroying the ball joint boot. It's still good. Yeah, I just put the chisel down on the top of this, sort of angled so that it's in the slot, and then just use that to hammer it out. I might have done this in the wrong order. It might have been you want to hammer that out while everything else is still attached. Who knows? At this point, we take a large hammer and we go outside with it. Ideally, you would have a press for this. Yay! F you! You can see all the rust that was holding it in there. I really wish they'd given us some sort of recess to pry on, but no such luck. All right, yeah, time to stick the new hub on here, throw it all back in the car. Installation is the reverse of removal. Pretty darn straightforward, really. You have hub, you apply dust shield, then you apply upright and season with bolts to taste. Stupid fuels are too damn powerful. Hit my knuckle real good. Yay. Well, the other side went back together in about 60 seconds. So let's see if we can replicate that here. Really, if I'd just gone for this method of removing the hub in the first place, this whole job would have taken no time at all. If I'd have just done things the hard way to begin with, it would have come apart almost as quickly as it went back together just then, and would have been about as quick of a job as I'd thought. But spent a long time bashing my head against the wall and bashing a hammer against that hub in order to get it out, and yeah, turns out that's just not the way to go. Gave me a chance to look at everything else, and all the ball joints and stuff seem to be in good shape, so I think this car is good to go. Just gonna go on a quick test drive to make sure there's no weird clunks, bumps, strange noises. This is a part that a lot of mechanics leave out because it takes a lot of time and doesn't make them money. No immediate noises, no weird feeling in the brake, no clunks when you load and unload the suspension, no clunks over bumps. I'm guessing that this steering wheel not being straight is why she went in for an alignment to begin with. Well, it's not really, it doesn't seem like it's pulling at 40. It's pulling right now. I think that's just a crowning on the road though.
Yes.
And it doesn't pull under braking, so yeah, I think we're good. Just an alignment and this thing will be set. What a nice little car though. I think I say that every time I drive this, Mazda does make a very competent economy car, and a competent sports car, and a competent crossover. They don't make any trucks though. They should get on that. I mean, they used to, but... Well, I think that does it for this repair. Hopefully it gives you a little insight on an alternate way to do this if the methods that I saw on the internet don't end up working out. It's really not that much work to just take everything else off, as it turns out. Thanks, Mazda, for making that fairly reasonable, and thank y'all for watching.